Apparently, I guess you have a warrant?
For what?
I'm not sure.
It's for voter stuff, man.
For voters.
It's what it is. I think the agents with FDLE talked to you last week about some voter fraud, voter stuff, when you weren't supposed to be voting, maybe.
I didn't.
So
what are they talking about?
That's
man?
what we're not the case agents, but what you got to do, they have reduced your bond quite a bit. It's 2 felony charges for voter fraud, but they've reduced it to $500 bonds. So it's $1,000 total.
Oh my God, man! What?
Yes, sir. So unfortunately, right now we're gonna have to take you to jail, but you got a bond right away. You don't have to go to first appearance, nothing like that. So
a bond.
Let's walk over to my car,
okay? Why is y'all doing this now and this happened years ago?
I don't know. I have no idea, man.
This shit is crazy, man. Y'all put me in jail for something I didn't know nothing about. Why would y'all let me vote if I wasn't able to vote?
America in 2022, it was back in August, that man down in Florida is being arrested for voting. Yeah, in fact, he's one of 19 people that were arrested just in that month for voting down in Florida on voting fraud charges. Again, as you saw at the back end of that video, because of these rules put on by Ron DeSantis. And I think you can get the connection of who he has that he's looking to arrest over voting. All the folks that did get arrested, they had prior felonies and they could not legally vote, except that they were told that they could. And they had all been given voter registration cards. Even the police, as they went through this, as you saw, one of those officers there, are confused as to why this is happening, why it's happening now. They're just doing their job, is what they're talking about. So let's continue with more of these arrests.
Warrant for your arrest? For what? For voter fraud.
Good, how are you, sir?
Right. Oh my God, hold on. Wait. Let me tell my husband.
We're telling him, he's right here.
Right here. So if you can put your hands on your back, please. Oh my God. Do not move.
Ultimately, ma'am, you have a warrant.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm like, voter fraud. I voted, but I ain't commit no fraud.
Well, so that's the thing.
I got out. God told me that I was here to go vote for whatever cause I done my time.
Yep.
I was here.
But the warrant was just made yesterday, so
The guys talked to me 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I know. I don't know, ma'am. I honestly couldn't tell you. Okay.
He can't tell you. He's just doing his job. I can't figure it out. Sorry, miss. That woman's name is Ramona Oliver. Here's a little bit more details about her story. When she had been told she could vote, you saw the confusion on her face. She served 18 years in prison on a second-degree murder charge. Registered to vote at the Department of Highway Safety and Motor Vehicles on February 14th of 2020, over 2 years ago. 6 months later, she updated her address and completed another registration form. After brief eligibility checks by the Department of State, which reports to DeSantis and is responsible for cleaning the rolls of ineligible voters, she was given a voter ID card both times. Oliver wasn't removed from the rolls until March 30th of this year, more than 2 years after all of this was going down. There's more, AB, because these police officers, they also didn't understand what was going on with this whole thing or where the statute came from. They're trying to explain it. We understand the officers don't know what's going on, but I want to let you guys know the way that this was done methodically over this day, based off of Ron DeSantis' rules and the other things pushed behind it. There's more to this. Let's watch this though.
Hey, unfortunately, you got a warrant out, okay?
Warrant? What
yes, sir. Want to put your hands behind your back for me?
Well, no, but no one ever really explained all that much to me. I told the guys when they came out here that I was at the driver's license place, getting my new driver's license.
Yeah.
The guy there asked me, he says, hey, can you vote? He says, hey, are you ready to vote? I said, no, I'm a convicted felon. I'm pretty sure I can. He goes, well, are you still on probation? I said, no. I got off probation like a month ago. He goes, well, then you can probably vote. Hey, just fill out the form, and if you can vote, then they'll give you a card. If you can't vote, then you won't. And I'm like, all right.
And there's your defense. You know what I'm saying? That sounds like a loophole to me.
More information, I promise I'm gonna let you in here, AB. Let's go to graphic 4 really fast, guys, to let you know what's happening here, since obviously the police have no effing clue. So they're accused of violating a state law that doesn't allow people convicted of murder or felony sex offenses to automatically be able to vote after they complete their sentence. A 2018 state constitutional amendment that restored the right to vote to many felons excluded this group. But as the videos further support, the amendment and subsequent actions by state lawmakers caused mass confusion about who was eligible, and the state's voter registration forms offer no clarity. So you got two different approaches here to this situation, and people just don't know. And of course, these are the folks that are helping them register because we weren't registered voters. And then once these people are in this situation, then years later, they're getting arrested in their front lawns trying to figure out what's going on. As that lady looked like she was going to work, Ms. Oliver there. Lastly here, they only require a potential voter to swear under penalty of perjury that they're not a felon, or if they are, that their rights have been restored, which they all believed. The forms do not clarify that those who murder with murder convictions don't get automatic restoration of their rights. And here's DeSantis' ass talking about, bragging about, look at all this cleaning up of the voter rolls that I'm doing and these bad voters, without giving any of the information that set this whole thing up so he could have, again, yet another one of these photo ops where he's this law and order, back for democracy guy. Watch.
So our view is we want all voters who are lawful to vote to be able to vote. But if someone votes illegally, they could have canceled your vote out. How do you feel about that? They could cancel out the vote of some World War II veteran who fought, to preserve our freedoms. And so it is important that we're upholding the law. And I think this will help show people and disabuse them of maybe any lack of clarity that they have.
AB, it's back to the replacement. Let's point out these folks who are looking to take your vote, replace your vote. The language and the approach is not on accident. What are your thoughts?
Okay, so boom, it's all about creating this fear, right? So when you think the far right Republican Party have been on this kick of like, oh, there's people coming in here and they're gonna take our power and they're gonna keep the white people behind and we're not gonna have any say-so in the world. We have all these immigrants and illegal votes, and we're finding out this is not true. Of all the hundreds of thousands of people who voted in Florida, you only found 20 people who weren't eligible. Let's start there. And they didn't even know they weren't eligible. So there's no intent behind that. It's not like they're intending to cancel out your vote. They were doing what they believed they legally could do. And the voters of Florida already said years ago, we want people who were formerly incarcerated to be able to vote. So when you get these loopholes, it's giving real fugitive slave catcher laws, right? Because like the police officers who are making the arrest, they don't even understand the legal issues behind them going to pick these people up. And now you done gave these people more felonies, right? After they done already did their time, you gave them felonies for trying to do the right thing. Why are you so scared of losing your job?
I think I know why. Power hungry, looking to get to that next step in his career, but also think about that line he even said, because they're coming to take away your vote. They could cancel out your vote. Republican governor of the state, Ron DeSantis, who is he talking to? I think he's talking to his supporters, or do you think he's talking to maybe Democratic voters, independent folks that he's looking to come over across the aisle to his side? No, he's talking to his Republican MAGA conservative supporters. And he's saying these folks who are on voter fraud are coming to replace your vote. So his assumption is that they're gonna vote against him. Why would you make that assumption, Ron? I thought as a big tent party, I would have assumed that you're looking to get everyone under your big tent because you appeal to all voters. Or are you accidentally admitting that you actually are your principles, your policies are all skewed to one particular group of people, and those other folks, if they don't vote for you, they're looking to replace it. Why? How do you not know these former convicted folks aren't voting for you? Why do you know that? Just want to point out how they expose themselves with their normal conversation.